We live, we live. Yo, yo, yo.
What up? What
Yo,
up?
we on. Yo, yo, yo. Come on in, come on in. I hope everybody Saturday doing good yeah, this Saturday. We gonna get into this Kirk, this
Candace
Charlie Kirk
Owens.
situation. And Candace Owens basically just revealed some things on her social media on her X.com, which y'all know she was friends with this Charlie Kirk guy. And she starting to reveal some things that was going on that he was dealing with behind the scenes. So we gonna get into that. Definitely need y'all to smash that like button on the way in. All right, we definitely gotta pull some of this up real quick. Let me pull this up real quick for y'all because we gonna get into it. All right, all right. So before we get into that real quick, we got a few little updates that from the media or whatever. But we going, you know how we do. We gonna dive deep into this situation because there's some mysterious things going on with this Charlie Kirk situation. So definitely need y'all to you know, tune
Yeah, the
in real
whole
quick
thing
if
is
you're
mysterious.
yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a mysterious
Took the
situation.
man out, and they took the man out in front of everybody. That's mysterious in itself.
Right. In front of in front of the 3,000, a crowd of over 3,000 people too. And you know
Technically,
what I mean?
a crowd of millions because
Millions,
someone can't. Yup,
because the broadcast,
yup.
bro, yep. All right, let me see if I can do this real quick. All right, yo, all right.
Not familiar with how all of this did play out as far as the timeline. We know that Charlie Kirk was speaking. Those are some of the photos there at Utah Valley University. About 3,000 people in attendance as the gunshot was fired. He was rushed over to a hospital afterward, where sadly, we later heard from President Trump that Kirk did pass away. I want to discuss the case in general and what happens next. So let's bring in a friend of the show here. We do have Jillian Snyder, an adjunct lecturer at John Jay College of Criminal Justice and resident senior fellow at the R Street Institute. She is also a retired New York City police officer. Thank you so much, Jillian, for taking the time to join us here.
Good morning, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. Well, first off, I do want to ask you, because we know that within about 48 hours, we saw this arrest made, the suspect taken into custody after a reward was offered of $100,000. And also you had the videos and photos that were circulated. So based on your experience here, how common is it to see an arrest made in a case of this magnitude here within 48 hours?
As you just said, he was taken into custody within 33 hours, and that's extremely fast by
33 hours.
traditional investigatory norms, but it does often happen in high-profile cases, and it's because you have so much interagency cooperation.
Took it into custody in exactly 33 hours. That's the number 33 again. Mm-hmm. Come on,
In this
y'all.
case, obviously, we had so much media exposure. And then once the release of the surveillance footage and videos went live, you have millions of people across the country looking into this. And ultimately, a family member, the father, is what we're hearing, recognized the suspect, confronted the suspect, and he was ultimately taken into custody. But again, we all saw the show the first 48 hours. We know that those 2 days are the most impactful for talking to witnesses, getting surveillance, getting victim statements, and collecting forensic evidence.
You mentioned the father. That's, of course, what we did learn about how the arrest itself happened and how he turned himself in. But how common would you say it is for people close to the suspect, especially a family member like a father, to be the ones who are alerting police there after seeing surveillance photos, videos, and saying, that right there is my son?
Honestly, it's one of the more common ways that big cases are cracked, and it did play out in this investigation. So the suspect's father recognized him, as we know, and a family friend reportedly helped get that information to a police. And again, we're hearing that the father urged the suspect to turn himself in. So normally people think it's the anonymous tipsters line, but in reality, it is often people close to the suspect, whether it be a family or a friend or an acquaintance, because they do have that inside information. They would more easily recognize that suspect once the video surveillance or surveillance photos are released online. So it does happen more commonly than most think.
When you're talking about the FBI Director Kash Patel and his comments yesterday, he said 11,000 tips and leads.
Oh, and mind you, the parents already dismantled their Facebook. I was able to, the other live stream I did the other day, I was able to pull up the family members, the dad and the mom's Facebook page. The mom disabled the Facebook page while I was live, actually in the middle of going through the mom's page. That's when they first announced his name. I immediately went to go search, search out the family on Facebook and all that. So I was able to pull up the mom's page and the dad's page. The mom, like I said, the mom disabled the page while I was live, and then I just went to the dad's page again, and he dismantled his page. So the parents disappeared from social media because they probably was catching too much, too much heat, too much backlash, and all that. So they probably was advised just to take their social medias down.
Did come in over that 33-hour period there. How does that compare to maybe another case? 11,000 seems like a lot of tips from the public. And also, how do law enforcement officers, investigators there go about combing through those at a quick rate and determining, is this legitimate or is this a false lead?
11,000 tips is a great amount, but one of the contributing factors to that was the sizable reward. You don't often see a $100,000 reward offered that quickly in an investigation. You'll actually see the reward amount increase the longer the investigation is active, more as like an incentive for people to pay attention. So, but when you have thousands of tips, 11,000 in this case, law enforcement and detectives have to rely on a triage system to sort them out. So they prioritize tips that they find to be credible, but can be corroborated with evidence that they currently have. So in this case, they did recover a rifle very early on in the investigation with the etchings and markings on them. They did have footprints that they were able to cast into and, make comparisons. And they did have some video footage. So they're going.
Which is crazy, which was bull crap. So I want to get into that right now because, in my opinion, I believe the person that they so-called captured on the roof was a decoy, because that footage that showed him running across the roof and jumping off, it's no way in the world he can carry, that 30-06 rifle in the speed that he was running off the roof, jumping down. Ain't no way in the world he dismantled that rifle, reassembled the rifle, and put it in the woods. Because the video we seen him running across that, he did not have no rifle in his hand. So how did that rifle end up in the woods? Makes me believe that the person that was on the roof got set up. It got set up. I believe he was part of it, but I believe he got set up. He got set up to go up there. You know what I'm saying? Basically station himself while somebody else took that shot. I'm gonna be honest, because none of this shit is adding up. So I want to get into that. But before I get into that, let me pull this up real quick, because
Yeah, sometimes they do have more than one shooter just in case.
right.
They definitely do that.
So,
I guess it's possible for someone to do that, especially if they a sniper and they military trained. A military trained sniper can assemble and reassemble a rifle very
yeah, but
fast.
not that fast. I got some experts, people from the military, people I got some videos lined up with people that's actually experts with weapons, actually experts from the military that say ain't no way in the world that man took that shot, disassembled that weapon, jumped down off the building. First of all, the weapon that he used can't even be disassembled anyway. The type of weapon he used can't be disassembled, bro. So how was he able to jump off the roof in that capacity and run that fast with that type of weapon? It's impossible. And we would have seen it if he threw it in his book bag. We would have seen it hanging out his book bag. So we
Yeah,
gonna get into it.
it
But
could have
before
been a second. It could have been a second shooter.
decoy,
I mean, that's a possibility.
right? So Candace, she took to her she was close friends with this guy, Yeah, I mean, she took to her Twitter earlier and said some things about him being in trouble behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So she tweeted that Charlie Kirk was fighting with some very powerful billionaires that took money from over things he was discussing. The pressure on him was immense over the last 2 weeks. The truth will be revealed. This message will be leaked, and the movement the movement he built will rise up. Then she tweeted, Netanyahu also spoke about how he called Charlie 2 weeks ago, invited him to Israel. The phone call is lacking context. He should provide the proper context of what and who inspired him to make that call and exactly how Charlie replied to the invite, which they basically say he turned down that invite to Netanyahu. You know what I mean? He turned down that the meeting that he's supposed to meet with him. So I mean, according to Candace, I mean, I'll take her word for it.
That's a red
She don't
flag.
strike me as a person that's just going, yeah, like down me. And the things he was saying about Israel, which I'm about to pull up, we're gonna get into it, man, because he was making some strong statements against Israel, and not only that, that's the same people that was feeding his movement. They said he had over $40 million from APAC in his bank account. So they basically was paying him to say the things he was saying. I think he was lined up. I believe he was lined up and set up. He was lined up and set up. But let me
Yeah,
let me
that's
pull this
that's
video
that's
up real quick.
believable. That's the
Yeah,
usual narrative. They lined
right.
up and set up.
Lined up and set up. All right, so this is him on PBN podcast, the Valuetainment.
And the Israeli hard right government has a mandate. I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean that's and I don't use that term lightly. Okay, they're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people from there. Okay, and honestly, they have a mandate to go seek justice and revenge. They do. This idea that they need to have a truce or a peace treaty, that's morally crap after you see women and children be burned alive and dragged to the streets. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right. So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier. Right, the whole country is surveilled, and so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel is on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power.
He spoke. You see how he was talking against Israel. He got a call directly from Netanyahu himself. Because you gotta realize these are the very people that was backing him to go out here and talk the talking points that he was talking. Y'all don't realize they trying to make it the left and right thing so the slaves can fight amongst each other. But like I said the other day, is a covert war going on at the top. They was grooming him to be president anyway, but he started speaking out against Israel. Y'all know Israel and USA got extreme ties with each other. So if you starting to speak out against them, then pretty much you are enemy. You become an enemy of the state when you start speaking out against them, and they're the ones that's actually sponsoring you. So you see how he's talking. He basically said all them things he said and then changed his tune at the end because they were starting to control him. If somebody give you $40 million, then they basically own you. They get to control what you say. They get to control what you say on your podcast in front of millions of people. Now you gotta realize he's speaking to millions of people every day on his podcast. He's definitely being controlled on what he say. So they're telling him to say all the things he's being paid to say, all the rhetoric that he was spewing over the years. But then he changed his tune at the end because they started controlling everything he was doing. And it was basically saying is basically going against everything he believed in. Because he's supposed to be this Christ God, this guy that preached Jesus and the church, and then the things he was saying didn't reflect on his beliefs. So basically what Candace saying, he changed his tune up at the end, and that's why they started targeting him. So I mean, you could just plain and see what the shit he's saying against Israel right here in the damn video. You think they gonna pay him to say that shit that he's saying in this interview? They ain't gonna pay somebody to go against them. If they grooming this dude to be somebody that's that making an impact for their agenda, and he turns on them and starts saying things against them, what you think gonna happen? Look what happened with Martin Luther King. Look what happened with Malcolm X. Malcolm X started talking unity after he came back from Mecca and he got taken out. Like it's when you start preaching unity, because they paid to keep people. Separatism is the elite's favorite thing, to keep people separate. You know what I'm saying? They paying people to keep. They basically, all these people use these plants you seen being paid out here. They out here preaching separatism because they getting paid to do that. I'm talking about the left and right is being paid to talk about, you know what I mean, to basically keep people separate. You know what I mean? When you start talking unity, that's when you're a threat. So at the end of the day, when you start, you know what I mean, when you start going against the hand, biting the hand that feeds you, then what you think is gonna happen? So that's all we saying. But let's
There
continue.
were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours?
Here.
I mean, what you think, bro? I mean, bite the hand. I mean, what you think of that? The stuff
I
he
mean,
just said.
whole
I mean,
media is controlled by the same people throughout history.
right,
And the people that control the media control Israel and control the United States. It ain't Israel itself, and it ain't the United
hmm
States itself. It's the oligarchs that control them.
hmm
They just use that as a front. All we see is Israel and the United States. We don't
right,
see the power structure behind that, and most people are never going to see that.
right,
Because and the thing is, if you do see that, you will end up like Kurt. If you got a
right.
following, if you got a big following, and you see the people behind the curtain who's running the United States and Israel and
Yeah,
just about every other Hollywood, the media, everything. They run everything. They've been doing it for years. And if you speak against them, you're done. They gonna come after you, and they're gonna make it look like it was a lone shooter and
yeah,
somebody who had just a crazy you know they was just crazy. They didn't like the dude's opinion, so they took him out.
right.
But it's bigger than that. It's always
It's
more than
bigger than
that.
that, right? And the thing about it is, they want us to believe that the rhetoric. You got to think about the rhetoric. The rhetoric he was spewing. It wasn't against the elites. So why would they really care about the stuff he's saying against black people or other ethnic groups? The elites don't care nothing about that. They care if you trying to come up against them. I mean, they don't. If that was the case, the person they said was the shooter wouldn't have been no Republican conservative, because that's what he is. Why would be somebody from his own party want to get rid of him if that's not the case? He starts speaking out against Israel. That's a no when they actually sponsoring you and you talking out against them. That's a no.
They
Everybody should
control
know
the left
that.
and the right.
Right? They
The
control the
thing
left
is,
and the right. Facts.
the people who control Israel and control the United States, they control the left and the right.
Facts.
Anybody who have any type of intelligence left in their mind and actually paying attention to what's going on, realize the left and the right is being controlled by the same entities. But the game is keep the people divided with left and the right, and we
hmm
just use the left and the right as a tool to keep control.
Facts.
That's it. It's no more than that. It's been like that. It's nothing else. It's nothing outside of that. That's all it
Facts.
is. It ain't nothing else. Nothing
Facts.
else.
That's what. So people gotta understand that if you going against the grain, then you already know what's gonna happen. I mean, if you going against the script, you talking out of script, then you already know what's to come with that. So
Candace is a fool too, because she's riding for the right so much, don't realize she's being
but
controlled indirectly. She don't
she
even know.
changing
But
her
the thing
tune
is,
too.
she's still taking a
Yeah,
conservative stand, and
right.
none of that even matters at the
None
end.
of that even
At the
matters.
end,
Fact.
nope. Now it's just about standing for righteousness and truth.
Hmm.
And once you stand for that, it ain't no more left and right.
Right.
It ain't no more Gentile and Jew after that. Now it's just shitty people and people who's not.
Right.
That's it. It don't matter what your label is. What you a Christian? What you a Jew? What you a conservative? What you a liberal? Who cares about any of that? Your heart is shitty. You a
Your
shitty
heart shit.
person at the end of the day.
Right.
No matter what your label is.
Facts.
Here's this clip. Watch this one here, and watch the man in the back with the phone. Watch him very
served in the
closely.
military are a little bit aware of hand signals being
What?
Now these are just things that people analyze. There's a lot of people analyzing these video footages that's coming out that around the crime scene, and cell phone footage is being released. So people is kind of like analyzing those and breaking them down pretty much. So that's what this is. But I do believe I don't feel like Candace is lying about him having beef with billionaires for the simple fact they was the one sponsoring him. So I don't think it was actually something that she said he was dealing with for the past 2 weeks leading up to his death. So I don't think that's far fetched, because if you saying certain things and you getting calls from the very people that's backing you and telling you, you know what I mean? Some of the things you saying, you gotta kind of dial back and stop saying the things you saying. They don't give a shit about him talking about what black people going through and what, but they don't care about that shit. He got
Well,
millions
that's
and
the
millions
stuff
of
he got
followers.
paid for. He
Yeah,
got
that's the shit he
paid to
got
talk
paid
like
for.
that.
Right. Fact.
And
He
when
got
he
paid
starts
to talk
stepping out
about
of
that.
that, that's when his life got in danger.
Facts.
When he stopped talking about the stuff that they pay him to talk about, that's when your life become in danger.
That's
Especially if
fact.
you have a big following.
Facts. And he got a big file. He had over close to 4 million subscribers on his channel. He had a day-to-day podcast, and he was talking that, and plus he had Tucker Carlson on there. They said they warned him to stop letting Tucker Carlson come on there and talk about Mossad and Epstein being part of Mossad, like, because you got to realize these people get 20 million viewers a day based off the content they put out, and they shit go viral. So they're trying to basically suppress the information that's being put out, because people still want to know who the hell on the Epstein list. They trying everything they can to distract from the real players on that Epstein list, which they never going to reveal that. Like we said, they always going to roll out some fall people, some fall guys to basically take the rap on that. But yeah,
As terrible as
This.
this is, it is some good. Hold on, real quick. As
yeah, go
terrible
ahead.
as
Go ahead.
this is, it is some good coming out of this. By
Yeah,
him getting assassinated, that means that the system is falling apart at the top.
facts.
For them to take him out like that,
Right,
they're losing control because of
right,
people like us with our mindset to realize it ain't no left or no right. It's just a corrupt oligarch that's controlling everything, and they're using the left and the right as tools. And more people are starting to understand that. So that's why they are acting even more aggressively. See, they got
right.
to act more aggressively because their system is falling apart, and the more they try to control it, but that's the more it's going to fall apart.
Yeah,
To tell you the truth, the whole thing is about to fall apart.
right,
Everything. So it might send us post-apocalyptic. Who knows? They might send
right.
off some type of pulse to end the internet or something, because the internet is exposing a lot. So they might end up trying
Sure
to
is.
shut it down, and they could do the EMF attacks where they could
Yeah.
just basically send out some type of electromagnetic pulse and shut the whole internet down.
Hmm.
Because because you gotta realize the people who control the internet are the same people who control United States and Israel and all the other power structures on the planet. See, they really wanted to use this to control us with, but EMP, my bad. But they really wanted to use the internet to control us, but they didn't realize that the information was going to spread to expose them at the same
Yeah,
time while they
it's a
tried to use
double-edged
the
sword.
internet to control, because it's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword.
And then
Duality.
people they
Right.
didn't expect to get a big following. People that they didn't expect to get a big following got a big following, and now they're panicking. Now they're ready to take out whoever exposes
Whenever.
them as
Right.
fast as they can, and it's
And they
not working.
right, and they sent a message with this basically, and him being shot in the throat is basically saying you're talking too much, and anybody that talk out of term is going to suffer the
Right.
same fate. And then that's the people that's
Directly in the throat.
yeah,
Facts.
and that's the people that they're sponsoring. They're basically focusing on the people that's they weren't about turning on them, not the people from outside of that. It's the people that within their own organization that's turning on them.
Oh, hold on, JR. You said something very important. They shot him where?
In his throat, in his jugular.
Who else did they shoot in the throat?
JFK.
JFK. Yep.
Yeah.
Because they ain't like what he was talking about when he was starting to go after the Federal Reserve Bank. When he was talking about
Secret
basically shutting
society.
down
Yeah.
the secret societies and the banks. He was going
And
to
the
start
banks.
auditing them. Yeah, because you gotta realize the banking system is owned by the same people who own the United States and Israel and all the other. See,
Right.
that's the thing. That's their power structure. That their financial structure is printing money out of thin air. They got infinite money, so they can influence people because they got
Right.
infinite money. See, it's not Israel itself. It's not the United States itself. It's the
Right.
people behind the scenes that's running all of it. And they put these people in positions, whether they know it or not, to spew whatever they want them to spew. They wanted this Kirk guy to be the conservative guy to talk down about certain communities and all that. And as soon as he stepped out of that, stopped talking about and start switching, oh, I'm being controlled by somebody else, so I'm gonna have to start exposing them. They seen him doing that and they took him out
Yeah, because
because
he
his
started.
following is too big.
His following was way too big.
His following is
No,
too big. They
he
can't
just
have
had.
someone like that talking like that.
I mean, his following have to be big if you got over 1 million people marching in the street in Great Britain, and he's from America. That shows you what type of impact this guy was having. And they was trying to groom him to become president, but he started. It's not working out for us because he started speaking out against the very people that was controlling him. I mean, I'm just calling it what it is. We just calling it what it is. Yeah, I mean, you speak on Israel and you part of them, you already know what happens. We ain't nobody dumb. Y'all know what happens. Come on now.
It's like, and the people, the conservative that's backing Trump is with Israel. The people who
Yeah,
control
right,
the United States, Trump ain't running nothing. Trump is another puppet like anyone else.
right.
And anybody from the Democratic side were puppets, whether it's Biden or Obama, all of them were puppets to the same
Bush, Clinton,
entities.
right,
Yep, all of them are the same puppets to the same entities that everybody else is. 'Cause the entities that's running everything has been controlling all of them. All their movements, everything they do is controlled by, because you got who cares about what they say as a conservative or a liberal? Their
right,
actions are always the same. Their
right.
actions be
Fact.
completely different than what they say they're going to do. And I don't care what administration it is. That's always
Two
the
wings
case.
on the
They
same
always
plane,
say
bro.
one
Yep,
thing. They always say one thing, and their actions do completely the difference. And then
right.
they try to blame the other side for the reason why their actions are different, but really they all on just the same side.
Two wings on the same plane.
Yeah,
Yep,
they just use each other as blame to point the fingers at while they accomplish one common goal. They got one common goal, but they had the people fooled and divided into the left and the right. And when the right don't work out, they blame the left. When the left don't work out, they blame the right. So it always look like it's the other party's fault. But really, they just got one goal to where they leading people into one into basically to one structure, which is slavery.
yeah,
Which is global slavery. That's all it is.
yeah.
They want us enslaved. They want us all. See, they love the internet when it comes to controlling us, so they can see everything that we buy in. They can see everything that we watch in. They can see our views. They love that part of it, but they hate the part where the information spreads freely.
Right.
That's when they
Facts.
start getting aggressive and they start taking people out with big followings.
Exactly.
If you're saying something that threatens their power structure and you got a big following, they coming after you. And that's it. They're going to come after you because
That's a fact.
they realize that they have to keep control. And the only reason why they gave us access to the internet the way they did, so they can keep us locked in, so they can watch us.
Exactly. Yeah, because they realized they didn't have enough manpower to actually watch people that off the grid.
Exactly.
They needed to consolidate the internet, push everybody on to the internet so they can monitor. So artificial intelligence is really monitoring everything because the processor is process the information faster and is able to feed the information back to them faster by using artificial intelligence. So that's what they needed, that because they can't watch everybody if they don't have that. They needed that. So, but they didn't anticipate that the information was going to spread like wildfire, because it's a double-edged sword. What you trying to control people, but you gotta realize when you trying to 100% control people, there's always going to be people that's going to resent that and revolutionize against that. So they kind of expected that, but it's out of control. They don't have enough power to control it. And I'm gonna be honest, artificial intelligence don't even have enough power to control billions of people on the planet. That's why
That's why they doing
depopulation. Yeah, that's why they doing depopulation, because they realize they can't control billions of people on the planet. So this shit is going way beyond just Kirk and
It's bigger than Kirk.
Trump, and this is bigger than Trump and Kirk and all these other figures out here that they trying to push in the media.
Kirk is a symbol though. They doing all this ritualistic shit around the 33 this and the shot in the throat chakra, like the same shit they did with Kennedy.
Yeah,
like when they put you in Lincoln, when they put you in a position and you don't do what they tell you to do, they take you out and they do it in a certain way.
Right.
And there's always some mysterious stuff around the shooter. Like, was it really the person that they captured? You know what I'm saying? Was it really Lee Harvey Oswald who killed Kennedy?
See,
you know
we didn't have.
Was it really Wilkes Booth
we didn't have technology then
Abraham
to really
Lincoln?
Right, and we didn't have technology then to really actually do research on our own. See, being as though that we able to see the shit for ourselves and analyze it in a way that we wasn't before. Now it's just easy to figure out that this shit is a hoax. Like this is a lie. The mainstream media is losing to alternative media. You realize that mainstream media don't have the power that it has anymore because the internet came into play. Now we able to see for ourselves and do our own research and do our own discernment and connect our own dots. We don't need them to try, because that's what they've been doing the whole time, controlling all the information that's been coming out. Yeah, I mean, they be doctoring up these old Osama bin Laden tapes from the 80s, trying to make it look like they're new. They chopping them up, commentating over them, making them think these footages is new. And bro, remember, we was like, this is shit from the Cold War, from the 80s. This is Osama bin Laden younger days from the 80s, and they try to make it look like it was some shit that was happening presently. Bro, it's now we start this shit out. You know what I mean? And they know they losing to the information age. They know that.
And these two men need to really be looked into.
Sniper.
With some of the sniper looking signals, especially coming from the guy in the white and the guy in the black.
Okay. Touching the side of the face of military context, often rubbing the cheeks, a hand signal to indicate. Go back, Rob. Let me read that whole thing. Indicate. Go back, Rob. Indicate the presence of male individual. The defense. Some users suggesting touching the chest and again, film. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of signals.
It's explaining. A single hand level on the body, put the palm down or moving in horizontal repeat means commence firing. Wow. When executed rapidly, it means to increase the rate of fire. When executed slowly, it means to decrease the rate of fire. Okay, keep it going. Huh. Interesting. What's the next thing? The left arm crossing the torso, military hand signal to indicate imminent danger. On the torso, different depending on the context of military. The most common interpretation of imminent danger, signal rest. Crossing the hand or arms repeatedly.
been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence.
Great.
Charlie Kirk's shooter. I didn't want to make this video, but I have to now. Too many comments. Watch him come off this roof. You do not see a long weapon there, right? Watch him come down. It's a hoodie or some type of bag. You see it right there. You see it fall limp. He drops down. Watch him run away and watch the hoodie bend. There. Watch very closely. He comes down. You do not see a long rifle. It's a Mauser, for God's sakes, right? Watch it. That was a hoodie. Watch it when he hits the ground. Watch this hoodie. You see him pick it up. There it bends. Right there.
Allegedly, we've caught this guy. All right. This Tyler Robinson. They're still sticking with this was a bolt action 30-06.
Yeah, you can't break this weapon down. Like we would have clearly seen this weapon if he was running off the roof with this weapon. It's insane.
And this is a psyop, just having us focused on the shooter himself rather than the people who hired him.
Right, fact.
Rather than people who hired him.
Right.
That's another psyop that they do. Have us arguing about the shooter.
Right.
Rather than the people who actually hired the shooter. The shooter is just nothing. He's just a guy that pulled the trigger. But that's why when the mastermind behind the crime gets more time than the actual person who did it, the person who actually put the shooter up to it, they would get more time because that they're the ones that orchestrated it all. We need to be focused on who orchestrated it all rather than just the shooter.
Right. I agree.
That's the thing. And that's what they do. That's the psyops that they do. They love keeping us arguing about things that really don't matter in the end.
We also have video of him that has been discovered of him running across the entire top from like the front to back or whatever it is of the Lucie Center from where this is supposed to have happened. And for those that don't understand, not that I'm a weapons expert, but a 30-06 does not break down. I mean, you can pull the bolt, you can clean it, you can pull the wood furniture off of it, yada yada, but that's not a quick process. So we got video of him running across the building, going off the side of the building. He jumps down, and the only thing he has with him looks like a small backpack. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you something. Typical size on a 30-06 is 42 to 44 inches. Here's our 42 inches demo. I'm 5'11" for reference. Where was this at? I mean, you can't put it in your pant because you can't bend. And this piece of shit was hauling ass. If it was in your backpack, it'd be sticking up noticeable. Even if you put it under here, you still couldn't bend your leg. I'm not trying to start some kind of a conspiracy, but this dude did not have a 30-06 on his person when he is hauling ass across the top of the Lucie building, jumping down, and you can see his legs bending and all that. How did the weapon get from there to the woods?
Charlie Kirk, what really happened and what they want.
That's another thing. Like, listen what he said. I'm not trying to start some type of conspiracy. It is a conspiracy that somebody was assassinated. Like that they got it. That's another thing. The psyop that they got. They want us to be so brainwashed that they want us to question the stuff that we find mysterious. Like the whole thing is mysterious. Someone got assassinated in front of 3,000 people. Like that is a conspiracy. It was a conspiracy. People, that shit just don't happen. Oh, somebody gonna wake up one day. I'm gonna go take him out. No. That shooter was put up to that because he was saying some things that was upsetting groups of people. Groups that, like Candace was saying, billionaires. Groups that control the shit behind the scenes. That's what it be. It ain't it got us scared saying, oh, conspiracy. It shit is a conspiracy. F the theory part is a fact. For someone to be assassinated in the way that he was, it ain't no theory behind that. The shit happened. And usually when shit like that happens, it's usually some group that's controlling it. It's never really a lone shooter. It's never really a lone shooter. And the thing is, that's how you know the way he did it, the way that it was done. It was done in front of the crowd, in front of everybody. That means that was them trying to make a statement. Someone who's mentally ill and just want to take him out because they ain't like something he said, they do it anywhere. They find him at a grocery store. They find him loading his kids up into the car. You know what I'm saying? They do, but they made sure they got him while he was doing the speech. Almost like what you see in Scarface when they wanted Tony and the dude to blow the guy up right in front of the building to make a statement. That's how you know. That's how you know it's something going on. It's something bigger than that. Same way, yeah. You got to think about it. If this was just some crazy lone nut who decide they going, you know what I'm saying? Like they just waiting until you in front of 3,000 people. If this person was following him, stalking him, they know exactly where he at, and they get him at a spot where nobody would be around. But this sniper made it his business to make sure to snipe him while he was giving a speech. That's how you know it was paid and bought by specific people, and not just some lone nut decided to do it. It ain't no damn conspiracy theory. It ain't no theory.
But we definitely want to do a live stream on the comparison between Mangione and this guy, because if they writing messages on the ammunition and on the weapons, they basically wearing the same thing, black hoodie. I'm like, well, this is an organization of cells that they have in place to carry out orders. These are not just coincidence situations that's happening. These are well planned, thought out assassinations that's taking place. Like I told you, there's a covert war going on for the new power structure, and the new financial system is definitely a main thing in this, and it's a power grab. So who's going to be ahead of the new financial system and who's going to set up the new infrastructure, and who we going to put in place to do certain things and carry out certain orders? That's what we facing here. And then you got the other side that's resenting it, that's going against it. So it's of course, when there's something like this that's happening, there's always going to be a covert war. Same thing with the mafia. It's always a war within the mafia every some odd years, because it's a new thing that's happening. Like when the drugs came along, because the mafia wasn't dealing with drugs, and when drugs came along, it caused a whole big war within the mafia, within the 5 families, you know what I mean? So we know that's the things that happens with this. So we merely just seeing a bunch of shit play out in front of our eyes because there's a covert war going on behind the scenes. And of course, it's going to spill out into the streets. You got Trump bringing in military because they definitely, this is what they want, is a civil war on this land. A civil war has to break out on this soil every so many years. You know what I mean? Because they want to lower the property value, buy everything up, change the infrastructure, build smart cities all over the place that they can control, keep us locked in these control grids in these 15-minute cities. It's a whole new infrastructure they're trying to build. So of course it's going to be a war for that shit. It's going to be a war behind that. So that's what we dealing with here. So that's all we seeing play out in front of our eyes, is just, a war that's happening behind the scenes. That's it.
Tell you, as a rescue pilot in the Army, just spoke with a flight surgeon buddy of mine that evaluated the shot. For both of us having seen injuries like this in war before in Afghanistan, this is what we saw from the shot. He was shot in the jugular, which is why you saw all of the blood splatter. This puts you into a posture called decorticate posturing, where your arms come up like this. This shows that you have immediate brain damage. They're saying the shot was at 200 yards, and it sounded something like this. That is some sort of subsonic rifle. This is an M4. This is a 5.56 round or a 2.23 equivalent. If anyone says he was shot by this round, I would not believe it, because the type of round that would have passed through Charlie's neck, highly likely it would have shattered his spine. He would have lost consciousness almost immediately upon being hit, and he would have passed on within a minute, if not instantaneously. The old man they caught, that was not the guy. I'm telling you, this was precise. It was calculated. This was a plan.
But then again, how we know it wasn't the guy shooting from close range and shit? They locked him up, let him go, and said the dude on the roof was the shooter. Like we said, they could use two people. One could be the decoy, and one could be the real shooter. The dude on the roof,
It could have been a whole operation.
it could have been
out there.
right.
It could have been 10.
Well,
It could have been 10
right.
people out there.
Facts. I mean, well, you start seeing, from the video footage that's been released, like from cell phone cameras and all that. I mean, it's obvious that the feds that released the footage with the dude running across the roof. We know that's impossible for him to not have they saying he had a weapon and running like he was running. Ain't no way in the world he had a weapon on him. Because you disassemble, then reassemble and put it in the woods. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, we don't believe shit that come out of the mainstream media anyway. A lot of, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and if you don't believe what comes out of the mainstream media, you automatically labeled as a conspiracy theorist. That's a psyop in itself.
Right.
That's a psyop right there. If you don't believe what the mainstream media says, that's controlled by the people who be putting in the hits, then you're a conspiracy theorist. That's how they. But that's wearing off though, because the mainstream media and these oligarchs, they making too many mistakes, and the people are starting. And the thing is, not even just that they making too many mistakes, but the internet is here and information is passed so freely and so fast. It's hard for them to shut down anything, and then we're able to see even the mistakes even more that they make in the mainstream media. They make a lot of mistakes. They make so many mistakes, and they wasn't caught as often as they are now. Back then, they wasn't caught as much because it wasn't no internet, to where all the information and all the stuff is consolidated into one place. So now we're starting to see their mistakes clearly. They make way too many mistakes, and you gotta, at this point, you either got to be an agent yourself or brain dead not to see the mistakes. It's either you're an agent or in 2025, it's either you're an agent or you're brain dead, because no way you can't see this corruption going on. You're still using words like conspiracy theorists and saying, oh, you don't believe what the media say, then you're a conspiracy theorist. You have to be brain dead or an agent. I'm just going to just put it out there. It's too much truth that's being exposed now in 2025. It's too much information that's flowing so fast for you to just turn a blind eye to it. It's either, I forgot another category, a coward. So you
coward, right? Coward.
Either a coward, brain dead, yeah, some coward shit, or some brain dead type shit, or you're an agent. That's it. That's all it is. It ain't nothing outside of that.
Facts.
Conspiracy. I don't want to hear. I'm about to start banning people who saying this is conspiracy theory. A man was just assassinated in front of 3,000 people. What the fuck are you talking about conspiracy theory?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Then who was it then? Who? Just some lone nut, some 80-year-old lone nut with a rifle decided to do that because he ain't like what the dude said last week? Come on, man. Like, are you brain dead or are you an agent yourself?
Well, exactly. We just pulled up Kirk. We just pulled up Kirk talking about Israel and Mossad, and you a public figure that they're actually sponsoring, and you going against the script. You know what I mean? So you already know what comes with that. You know what goes. If you trying to go up against the very same power structure that's funding you, then you know what comes with that. But some people just ain't meant to be controlled out here. That's just what it is. Some people don't want to be controlled, because you start, and I believe he got a peek behind the curtain a little bit. That's why he started talking his talk that he was talking at the leading up to him getting assassinated, because he peeked behind the curtain. He was seeing some shit. It was like probably got turned like, oh, I can't, go on board with this. And you see what happened. Because they take right now is like you said, that war that's going on is basically a power grab, power structure. They trying to move people out the way that's in the way where they need to start building at. They need to start building in certain areas and there's certain things that's in the way of that. So it's a war going on. It's just simply what it is.
And
Nothing
they treating us like kids still believing in Santa Claus and shit.
more.
You know what I'm saying? That's how the people who control our lives look at us.
Right.
Like they expect us to have the mindset of kids still believing in Santa Claus. That's the type shit, and we're not kids. It's a lot of us out here that's way more intelligent than y'all motherfuckers who running stuff, and we see what y'all doing. We ain't no fucking kids that still believe in Santa Claus. All right.
Right.
So stop trying to play with our intelligence. We see all the mistakes that you make because the internet is exposing all of it because it's free flow of information and it's moving fast. So we see all the bullshit. We don't believe in Santa Claus or
we
the
able to
Tooth
connect,
Fairy.
and we able to connect those dots much faster. Before, you know what I
Facts.
mean, we didn't have the information where we had to go piece sources together, from different places. People had to physically go to the library and things of that nature. No more of that. We can connect the dots in a few hours upon some shit happening just by analyzing everything that's being put out. As fast as they able to process the information, we able to connect the dots much faster as well. And that's the flip side of it.
And agents expose themselves. If you have a problem
Yeah.
with this real shit that we talking, and you want to point out stuff, oh, look how he's talking, look how he sounds, then you're exposing yourself as an agent. Rather than listening to the information, you start deflecting and start talking about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the actual information. That's another way you could tell a person is an agent. Oh, you keep talking about these oligarchs and this 1%. You don't know no names though. That's an agent. That like agents, you're exposing yourself. It's 2025. And the information is flowing fast, and there's people out here who's more intelligent than the motherfuckers who've been running stuff. You get it? So you can be an agent all day and keep exposing yourself.
Pretty much.
And it's a lot of agents online. They make sure they put a whole bunch of agents online to try to keep a lid on things, but it don't work.
Right.
The agents it's pointless now. It's just too much information. This is the information age. It's just too much information out here for people to still be an agent for that side.
Facts. And we let left and right shit. We know that's Coke and Pepsi. Same substance in it. Same
Facts.
substance in the can. You know what I mean? Just different colors. That's it. And if you notice, Pepsi is blue and Coca-Cola is red. So they playing off the red and blue lodge. You know what I mean? Bloods, Crips, Republicans, Democrat, blue coats, red coats is always the same ritual. And it's the same pattern throughout the years. So that now we able to see things and discern them things much faster, much quicker. And you just can't fool everybody. Everybody's not meant to be fooled. You know what I mean? Like, we know the left and right is controlled by the same entities. We know all these corporations is owned by the same shareholders. We ain't stupid.
Facts.
And so you got the Democrats and Republicans, the low levels fighting amongst each other. You know what I mean? Coming on the screen and playing like it's WrestleMania and shit, like they really beefing. And then they go backstage, sniff coke, shoot steroids, and say we had a good match out there, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, we had a good match out there, brother. Sniff some coke, shoot some steroids up, drink some beer, and be chilling
And the
back there.
politicians are doing the same thing.
Yeah, that just
and they really be behind the scene sniffing coke, drinking beer.
Yeah.
Like they really be behind the scene doing that shit. Like just like the wrestlers.
And they come out in front of us with these dumbass debates that they try to these same talking points every 4 years with these stupid ass debates on TV.
Political theater.
Yeah, I look at that shit like a sports event. It's nothing but
They're
a sport.
literally actors. They get trained. They
Yeah,
get trained
get
to do
media
that
training.
shit.
Right, they get media training to do that. Exactly. Facts.
And they suck at it. They suck at it.
It's the
I'm
worst.
gonna be honest with you. Trump is good though. Trump is a hell of he fooled a lot of people at first. A lot of those conservative motherfuckers that thought that Trump was actually for the people. I knew from the beginning that he wasn't. He's always with them. He's controlled by the oligarchs. His family is literally one of the oligarchs. And who's the names? Oh, the names. Oh, the names of the oligarchs, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Orsini's, the Borgia, the Medici, the same motherfuckers that you read about in history that was controlling the Colosseum in Rome are the same families behind the scene that's running shit today. They ain't go nowhere. They just hide under multiple shell companies and big ass corporations. Like BlackRock and Vanguard, and that's all they do. They do the same shit. They do the same
pattern
shit
every year. Yeah, it's the same pattern.
shit
Every decade after
for
decade.
centuries. It's getting
Yeah.
old. And the
But
more
the
people they
thing-
kill and take out, they don't realize the energy is building against them. Like their cup, their cup full of sins is getting fuller and fuller. And and it's all about to just come to a head, and that's it. And the shit's falling down. It almost remind me of that show on Netflix I just started watching called The Fall of the House of Usher and shit.
Yeah.
That extremely wealthy pharmaceutical company family, all the kids dying and all that shit. It reminds me of that. They done. This shit is over. It's coming to a point in time where their time is up. Now I don't know what's gonna happen at some post-apocalyptic shit. I don't know. But their time is up because they're being exposed. Because it's just the nature of things. They don't understand that. All they understand is power as far as physical power.
World
on Earth.
domination.
They don't realize there's some spiritual shit going on behind this. See, they do the ritualistic shit, but it's still low level. They do the ritualistic shit so they can keep their power structure in place. Like they do things like that, but they don't realize it is some supernatural shit going on here that's going to take them down. They don't really believe in the supernatural like they like y'all think.
No. They don't believe in the supernatural.
They don't look at the shit like how they put it out there. They're more sciencey. They don't realize that their time is up. The shit ain't gonna work. They've been in control for centuries. They've been in control for centuries, doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. But their time is up. Their time is up. It's coming to an end. That's why they're getting more and more aggressive. If you don't realize, it's like they get more and more aggressive on global control. And they're using the hell out of these celebrities.
Yeah,
these political figures.
But they gotta realize there's always gonna be a resistance. Because not everybody meant to be controlled. So they always gonna meet resistance, right?
Hell yeah, they always met resistance throughout history.
Yeah, always.
And they covered it up. Like it's been times where they almost got taken out, but they covered it up. They always cover it up, and they change the history books. Right. That's what they do, because they control all the history. They control all the shit that you go to school for. People, you ain't got no education. That's just controlled by them too.
Well, well, we already know the Rockefellers control.
Facts.
The whole, education, system anyway. And it was
and
basically
just like the Rothschild control the banking and the financial system.
They basically just, condition us to be slaves in society and basically work for them. That's what the whole school system was set up for. I think the only thing that's even probably universal is probably just the math portion of it. But other than that, everything else is just geared towards making us slaves for the corporations. Because usually when you graduate, you don't really graduate and get a job in that field that you graduated from. And then they pay you got to pay all this, hundreds of thousands for education. And at the end, what you get at the end of that? Most successful people didn't graduate from college at all. They didn't graduate from college. Most of the successful people and business owners, They didn't graduate from no damn college. Yeah, that school system is definitely a scam. Like we said, like we said, this whole Kirk situation is definitely a just a symbol.
Yep.
It's just a symbol of what's taking place right in front of our eyes, and people still fighting over left and right. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's not about left and right when it comes down to shit like this. The power structure that running things don't give a shit about no left and right. Those are slave systems that they set up for us to fight over, so they could so they could continue to run and dominate the world, basically. So yeah, it ain't all that left and right shit. It's a lie. It's a facade. It's a lie. And then more people are starting to wake up to it, and that's what they fear. More people are starting to wake up to that. That paradigm is getting shattered every day. That paradigm is getting chipped away and getting shattered because people like us, our mindset is we know that this shit is being highly controlled. We know that. I don't think anybody on this planet doesn't feel like there's corruption in every part of the government in every part of this world. There's corruption in every damn government on this planet.
Right.
I don't.
So
You know
how
what I
could you
mean?
take a side and be like, oh, the left, my side, the left, or my side, the right, isn't corrupt,
Yeah, that don't
or
make sense.
aren't, or isn't, or it don't shit don't make
And they
sense.
use terms like vote for the lesser evil. Nah, if I don't vote for no evil. I don't
It's
want
just
no
wicked or
evil.
you're not. Right.
Right. I don't want no evil running my life.
And then you get shamed when you don't want to vote. They look down on you when you don't want to vote because you're like, well, I don't want to vote for any evil. Well, you don't have an opinion then. That's a psyop. I don't have an opinion because I don't want to vote left or right because they both evil. And I don't want to vote for the lesser evil.
That don't even sound
Like, how
right.
could you shame the person who
Yeah.
don't want no evil?
Yeah, that don't even
Get the
sound
fuck
right.
out of here. I don't want no evil, so I'm shamed that I don't have an opinion because I don't want to vote left or right. Because they're both wicked.
Yeah,
And it
that
be
don't even
church
sound right.
folks. And it be church folks saying this shit. You be hearing church folks saying vote for the lesser evil. What?
Nah, we ain't voting for no evil.
So let me ask you, did Daniel from the for the church going folks, did Daniel vote for the lesser evil? Like, come on, like yo, for real. I don't want to hear this shit. Nobody can't tell me nothing out here because all I've been seeing is a bunch of people getting fooled for centuries, and we all still falling for it. Because if we wasn't all still falling for it, this whole system would have been fell. But this system is still going on. The system is still going on. So that means we're still being fooled.
Well, it's bigger than. I think it's just bigger than.
Vote for the lesser evil.
It's
Good old Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever the hell you are, saying vote for the lesser evil. Do you understand how ridiculous that is?
so that's why I said that being as though we still playing the left and right game, we gonna always be subjected to what's going. Is with whatever they push, whatever agenda they gonna push, they gonna make us follow along with it. They propaganda machine, it's doing it's doing its job. It's doing its job. But like I said, a lot of people are still waking up to it at a faster rate now because we do have the information now that we didn't have before. So everybody is really, and I think when that COVID shit happened too, that kind of allowed people to have more time on their hands to actually do some research too, and look up shit and actually, you know, actually see what's really going on out here. Same thing when that 9/11 shit happened. That woke a whole slew of new people up on the planet. And that's what the COVID shit did. Woke a whole new slew of people on the planet up. So yeah, like you said, now it's gonna be and being as though this guy was young. So you gotta realize this guy was 31 years old. So that's showing you that the generations ahead um are gonna be much more, I ain't gonna say they're gonna be much more smarter, but the information to be so, they able to wake up and see so they could be able to, deal with certain shit as it's happening. because not everybody's gonna go along with the plan, and that's how the elites think. They think 20 years, 30 years ahead, but they plan is not. It's not 100% accurate. There's always flaws in it, and that shit's never gonna go the way they think it's gonna pan out, because you got people that just waking up to the bullshit. But like I said, this Kirk guy is just a symbol of what's happening on a on the covert war side of things. So you gonna
Basically, if
start,
you expose us, we kill you.
yeah, because
That's basically what it is.
I mean, you got to think about how they moving about, um, as far as trying to move people around, because if you trying to build a new system, a new infrastructure, it's certain people that's going to be in the way of that. It's certain people that's just going to be in the way of that. And like you said, they can't steal like they used to with the new system.
Facts.
Like, so you got to think about the old system versus the new infrastructure they trying to build now. The blockchain and shit is more transparency, so you can't steal. They can't steal like they used to, because people going. I mean, everything is seen. Everything is based off transparency with that system. And there's some people still in place that still like to steal. They want to continue to, and that's been keeping them, floating for centuries, by just stealing for the general population, constantly stealing and lying, lying, and warring, lying, and war, constantly. Yeah, shit. So we ain't nobody, we ain't falling for it. There's certain people that just ain't gonna fall for it, and they always gonna meet that resistance regardless. But now it's like they really losing. Like you said, they get more aggressive because they losing to the information age. And I think they that's why they need to get rid of a certain population, because the future is what they banking on. So they know they gotta depopulate a certain amount of of the people on the planet, which they still ain't gonna be.
That'll
I don't
never
feel like
happen.
they ain't gonna be successful at that as well, because it's just not meant to be. You name me one person in history that ever dominated this world 100% and took over this whole entire globe 100%.
Nobody. Nobody never did that.
It never happened throughout history, and
Never
it never
happened.
will. It never will, because it's not meant for that. It's not meant to be dominated 100%.
That's because we're literally in a realm of duality. It's impossible to do that. There's always two sides. It's always a double-edged sword on Earth. It's ingrained into the fiber structure of the Earth. It's ingrained into the DNA of the Earth. Like that's why no one side is ever going to dominate everything. Not one group, not one person is never going to dominate 100% on Earth. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's not going to happen.
It's Earth.
And people just don't know the rules of Earth still.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And I think it's
you're way
more.
far behind if you don't understand the rules of duality on Earth. You're way behind.
Yeah, it's the arrogance. It's the arrogance of certain, of the God complex, and the arrogance of people that think they just gonna control people 100%. That's never gonna happen. We know that. And so we gonna start seeing a lot more shit like this happening with the Kirk guy. We always been seeing that. It's not gonna stop from just, the buck ain't gonna stop at this guy Kirk. We're gonna start seeing a whole lot of people, getting assassinated, going to jail for sex trafficking. A lot of these people that's, you know, under their grasp is disposable. You're gonna start seeing a lot more of these celebrities getting locked up and going to jail, or destroyed it right in front of the media. You're gonna start seeing a lot more people go to, assassinated or shot, and it's just what it is. At this particular time, that's just what it is right now. Yeah, they whole power structure set up to basically keep us divided, keep the people divided. That's why you're starting to see people just, yeah, blame the left, blame the right, blame the left, blame the right. No, it's a certain group that's using both sides. They're using both sides. Y'all fall for that shit every 4 years, man. Not
And both
shit.
sides are right and both sides are wrong.
It's just crazy.
It's all about balance. That's what Earth is about. It's duality here. There is a left and a right, but it have to be balanced. You ain't gonna be 100% left or 100% right. That's not reality. That's not reality. It's all about balance. That's Earth's game right there. Learning how to balance. Learning how to balance hot and cold to get it just right. Learning how to balance left and right just to get it just right. Because if you're too far to the left, let's say you walking and you're too far to the left, you're gonna tip over. You walking, you too far to the right, you're gonna tip over. You gotta have balance to walk straight. There's no such thing as
Facts.
dominant left or dominant right. Because if one dominate the other one all the time, there's gonna be no balance there. That means it's gonna be friction, which is going to also cause suffering, chaos, and everything. Like for a person that I'm completely conservative or completely liberal, that's brainwashing. That's brainwash.
That's
You're
that's kind
brainwashed.
of robotic, actually.
That's
Yeah, you're
robotic
kind of
as hell.
robotic if you believe, if you 100% conservative. Like, you're gonna feel liberal about some things, you're gonna feel conservative about some things. It's never gonna be 100%. If you do
Right.
it's impossible for you to be conservative 100% or liberal
You're
100%. That don't make
brainwashed.
sense. But
Facts.
they do these groups, they group people together because they easily control when you group people together. Unite, that's why they so against people uniting. Anybody that preach about uniting, unless it's done under a certain agenda that they need people to unite on, like our Netflix subscriptions.
Look at your
It be low level shit like
damn
that.
human body. You got
It
a
be,
left
it be low
hand and you
level
got a
shit.
right hand.
All right. People be coming together on some the most low level shit I ever seen in my life. But
Oh, you talking about when they were
stay
fighting over
provide,
the
yeah, or any low
the
level thing. Like,
subscriptions from
yeah,
Netflix
like
out
we
there
all,
marching?
yeah, yeah, like this whole, just all this dumb shit that they just be having people uniting on the low level shit. But sooner you start trying to unite on some shit that's gonna shatter their system, they all against that. They all against. You start preaching about uniting to come up against the very system that's screwing the left and the right and everything in between. They That's what they hate. That's what they hate. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, they don't want nobody out there bringing the left and the right together. They don't want anybody
Nah.
out there uniting the Black Panther and the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, that should be.
They
Yeah,
don't
that's
want
crazy.
that. And the thing is, that shit is government controlled. Both
Yeah,
sides is
it is.
government
It is
controlled.
too.
Like, it be
That's
some
crazy,
government
though.
agents implanted into the Black Panther Party and government agents implanted into the KKK. Most of the motherfuckers that be running those parties be straight up government. You know what I mean? Black ops. That's the crazy thing. It be
Nah, but
black ops.
that,
That shit be
yeah,
100% government, y'all.
right.
It do.
And I
The
give you
KKK
I
and
give
all
you
of
a
them is
prime,
government.
I give you a prime example of how they want to keep people separate. They don't want the good old boys teaming up with the Black Panther movements or any type of black organization. Is when Alex Jones met with Farrakhan at his house and shit. Did that interview.
Oh yeah, and they
They shut
blocked them
that
off the
shit down.
internet after
They
that.
blocked they Both of them got shut down for that shit.
Yeah, they shut them
They took
down.
them off social media. Everybody that tried to post that interview on YouTube, YouTube flagged it.
Yup.
They wasn't playing no games with that. They's like, oh, Alex Jones trying to meet with Farrakhan. Oh, what they trying to do? Link the good old boys up with the NOI. I mean the
That scared the
FOI.
shit out of the system, bro.
They was like, oh, they don't like shit like that. You gotta realize that they don't like. They want to keep people separate with that shit. When they seen that kind of spooked them a little bit, and they
That was
had to
their
shut
biggest
that
fear.
shit down. Right, they had to
Because
shut
they
that
know
shit
they would
down
lose the
ASAP.
United States completely. See, they know they would lose the United
Yeah,
States completely if the Black Panther people with the Black Panther mindset and the KKK mindset came together, or the Alex Joneses and the Farrakhan's. They fear that shit the most. That's if y'all take anything from this, listen to this. They fear that the most. They fear that the most. Alex Jones and Farrakhan linking up. They scared of that shit. Y'all understand where we coming
right.
from? That's what they don't want. They love when they fight. They love when they fight amongst each other. But for them to link up, that scares them the most. They was taking down everybody's account who posted up that Alex
Yeah,
Jones and
everybody else
Farrakhan
posting that.
interview.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody likes the Candace post that. Hell yeah, she posted that. Yeah, yeah, she posted that shit. Yeah, yeah, she posted that right on her Twitter.
Because they pay billions of
But
dollars to keep those groups separated. They pay
yeah,
billions of dollars. Billions, trillions probably. Shit. If you want to count up all the
yeah.
decades and shit that they've been using that same tactic.
So for Kirk to be going back and forth with the billionaires that sponsoring them, obviously it was a discrepancy in there, of, something he was doing that they didn't agree with. You know what I mean? And then he got a call from Netanyahu directly to him himself, because he started saying this. I'm gonna play it one more time what he started saying against them. But yeah, Candace Owens, just to go over this one more time. Candace Owens said Charlie Kirk was fighting with some powerful billionaires that he took money from over the things he was discussing. The pressure on him was immense over the last 2 weeks leading up to assassination. Said the truth will be revealed, the message will be leaked. So yeah, and she said, we go to the next slide. Yeah, she said Netanyahu also spoke about that he called Charlie 2 weeks ago, invited him to Israel. That phone call was lacking context. He should have provided the proper context of what and who inspired to make that call, exactly how Charlie replied to the invite, which he shut down the invite. He basically said, wasn't no point to really meet with Netanyahu. I guess he said what he said. So, I mean, the things he was saying, I'm gonna just play this one more time real quick before we get out of here, so y'all can let me share this again. And I really never really heard of this Charlie guy. Like, I never really following this guy until this shit happened. And then that's when I started, researching, looking into it. But my eyes wasn't on this guy. You know what I mean, I
Nope.
wasn't
I
paying
didn't even
attention
know
to
who
this
that
guy.
guy was until he got
Right,
assassinated.
I
I
ain't
don't
really,
listen to none of
right.
that shit.
I don't be listening to
Left
none
and
of that
right
shit
shit. I
they be
hate
over there
that.
getting. Yeah, I don't. We
I
don't see.
hate that
This ain't a
shit.
left and right. Y'all gotta realize when y'all come to this channel, this ain't no left and right channel. We don't give a shit about both sides. We look at them totally the same. They both part of the same goddamn organization, and we know how these organizations is. They whole thing is to pay people out here to preach separatism, and we ain't falling for the dumb shit. So
I didn't even know this guy existed before he
yeah,
got
I
assassinated.
ain't know who this guy was
Didn't know who he was.
until
I
this
ain't
shit
had shit
happened.
to say
Right.
about him.
Then I start digging and looking and seeing like, all right, who is this guy and what why was he taken out? Because there's always a reason. Let me play this.
And the Israeli hard.
All right, so this is him talking out against Israel and Netanyahu and shit. The very same people that you got realize AIPAC was feeding this guy, sponsoring this guy. He had $40 million in his bank account, paid from AIPAC which is
Damn,
owned by
$40
yeah,
million
$40
in his
million.
bank account.
Yeah,
What the
right.
for what?
Exactly. Well,
God damn,
you know,
40 million.
it is what it is.
Sheesh.
I mean, he was sponsored by them, so you know.
Right government has a mandate. I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically.
And mind you, he did make a statement saying he felt like Israel was going to kill him too. So he did make that statement. Matter of fact, I even forgot to do this real quick. Forgot to do this. My bad, y'all. We'll get back into that. Yeah, it's some shit was put out, some tweets and all that yeah, I mean, because he felt like, you know, and he probably was getting phone calls and taps and shit like that. He probably was getting followed phone calls. I mean, because if you're a political figure with a big influence and a big following, of course they're gonna watch everything you do. They ain't gonna let you just roam around freely. So he probably was getting phone calls and he did he got a phone call from Netanyahu himself. That should tell you something right there. All right, so it says after he was fatally shot during the turning point of events at the University of Utah, Israeli Prime Minister Ben Netanyahu mourned Kirk and the lion-hearted friend of Israel. So that's telling you right there, you know. All right, so but the video clips of Kirk, you know, the intense backlash he faced over the questioning of Israel government, he gained traction online in days since his death. All right, so this is some things that was tweeted out from people that, you know. All right, said we at war. Charlie Kirk worked tirelessly against the movement on behalf of Israel. What he did to get what did he get what did he get them? A bullet? Because the Jewish radicalized people of America across the Europe. And the question is, I think that he should be asked is the Israel plot to have Charlie killed because he might turn on them. All right, see a couple more tweets down here. All right, so this is Jackson Hinkle on Twitter said he used to be an Israeli Israel loyalist. He feared Israel would kill him. He started mildly criticizing Israel. He said Epstein was Mossad. He let anti-Zionists speak at his events. Zionist media started attacking him. Someone shot him in the jugular 2,000 yards away. Netanyahu tweets within minutes. Patsy gets arrested and acts guilty. Assassin escapes without trace. Netanyahu tweets longer message. So these people basically saying he you know, and then I did do the video with him, Tucker Carlson, the interview he did with Tucker Carlson, and they was talking about how Epstein was working for Mossad, and they believe that he got taken out. So he was saying some things that was going against the script, and that's just what it is. I mean, for people to be thinking he got taken out for the rhetoric he was getting paid for, well, the would-be assassin wouldn't be taking him out on the fact that he's preaching out against, certain groups. That don't make sense. I think it's the shit he start talking about Israel because they was the one sponsoring his his movement. So that's all, that just lines up with what's going on. I'm just be honest. Lines up with what's going on.
Basically, if they paying you millions of dollars, you better say what they want you to say.
Yeah,
anything outside of that, they will cancel your contract.
So they said Candace was good friends with this dude, so she probably ain't gonna let that shit go. But she better be careful. Cause she got a big following as well.
They do something to her that expose them even more.
Yeah, that just expose them even more, right? Right.
I mean, let's just be real. If something happened to her, if anything happened to her right now that we know for sure, that is solidified. They don't realize by by doing this, it makes this stuff even stronger. It takes them down fast. It's going to take them down faster. The more people they try to take out and try to control, manipulate, that's the more that is the information is going to get out. That's just how it is.
All right. Yeah, we
Done
definitely
deal.
gonna. All right, we definitely gonna keep y'all posted with the updates, man. Make sure this video is sponsored by 90herbals.com. Make sure y'all hit over our website. Shout out to y'all. I seen some couple purchases of y'all purchasing while we on live. Man, hit up the website, take advantage of the sales. 90herbals.com. We sell nothing but natural herbal products for your hair, for your skin, detox. I mean, we actually sell CBD products in the form of CBD cigarettes, vapes, and loose flower, oils, shit like that. So make sure y'all check out our website. The link is pinned to the top of this chat and inside the description of this video. So make sure y'all head over there and support the because we sponsor our own videos with our own products. We ain't controlled by no sponsors of get to control what we say on our show. We say what the hell we want to say. We say what needs to be said. We don't say what y'all want to hear. We says what needs to be said. Simple and plain. So we appreciate y'all coming through, rocking out with us, man. And we're gonna catch y'all on the next one. Anything?
Peace.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.